Ready? Play.
Welcome everyone. Let's start the press conference. Please raise your hands for questions.
Lleyton, your emotions, obviously thrilled,
yeah.
No doubt. And Alex, what did it feel like with that last point this morning?
Pride again of the boys. Like I said out in the court, no Davis Cup match is easy and you don't take anything for granted, and rankings get thrown out the window. We knew they were going to be a tough opponents, and really proud of the boys. Alexi stood up when he needed to today. That was a big day for him, big result. So super proud of him. He's done a lot of hard work. He was there in Manchester. He put in the hours on the practice court. He supported the boys, and he got his opportunity today, and he took it with both hands. And then this guy went out and did what he needed to do yet again. You don't take any Davis Cup matches for granted, and Alex went out there, competed, did absolutely everything that we asked of him and what we expect, and he deserved to be out there when we went through to the final.
For me it's at least that match was a little bit of relief. Extreme team effort again, as Lleyton said. Alexi coming out, not having played for Australia in 3 to 4 years, coming out to play semi-finals against a guy that's ranked 170 but plays like a top 50 player, and came out with a huge win. Amazing credit not only to what he's done today in the match, but as Lleyton said, in Manchester, and even since day one here in the camp, he's trained his butt off. He's done everything right. First day he didn't get to play. He was out there supporting like the most out there on the bench, and just shows what this team is all about. So I love every single one of these guys and wouldn't want to be here with anyone else.
Hi, proud Aussie here from Melbourne. Thanks again for representing our country, and congrats on getting through. I know you don't know the opponents yet, but how does it feel this year compared to last year?
A similar feeling. Obviously relief at the moment to give ourselves an opportunity to be in the final match on Sunday. As I said, you don't take anything for granted in Davis Cup, and it doesn't matter the format. So we knew coming here every match was going to be extremely tough, and you only have a day to prepare for your next opponents as well, which isn't easy. So just really proud of the boys and their efforts, and no matter who we play on Sunday, it's going to be a bloody tough task. But once again, we'll go out there and leave absolutely everything we got on the court.
Hey, just to go back to Alexi, he's kind of been on the periphery of the squad for a little bit. So what have you seen from him this year to make you realise that now is the time not only to call him up, but also to use him today in the semi-final, whereas you didn't the other day?
He's had a career best year for him, and it's shown in his ranking. He's worked on small areas of his game. I think he's matured as a player as well. He's put in a lot of hard work on a couple of things in his game over the last probably year and a half or so, and he's getting the rewards that we see. At the start of the year, beating Taylor Fritz at the Aussie Open. He made a run in the Masters Series as well, and just before the US Open. So the reason for the decisions was matchups. Both decisions for the number 2 on both days, and I knew that he had beaten the guy before earlier this year in straight sets, and we had full belief in how he was playing, and we really primed him for the match today, and it ended up paying off.
First of all, congrats on getting to the final, Lleyton. It's another Davis Cup final for you. You've won some, lost some. I was wondering if you could walk us through your best memories in a Davis Cup final. If you could, maybe it's a bit of a throwback question, but I would love to hear some insights from you.
Yeah, well, the four finals as a player were completely different in a lot of ways. The first one, obviously, it was my first year on tour playing, and I got thrown in the deep end and then ended up, in a Davis Cup final, which was pretty special in France. And then, I've had all the emotions the following year as, the #1 player in our team playing in a final in Spain, in Barcelona, in bloody tough conditions. And, you win some, you lose some. For me, probably the most special was winning in 2003, though, in Australia. It was something at Rod Laver Arena and playing against quality players in Spain at the time. But this competition, it's never easy, and we get another opportunity on Sunday. All we can keep doing is doing all the right things, preparing as well as possible, and then it's up to us to try and execute on the day. But you got to be in it to win it, and we're certainly there.
Last year's loss, Lleyton, in the final must have hurt. I'm just wondering whether you might, in the way you communicate with the players in the next sort of 24, 48 hours, whether you will be sort of thinking about that final as part of, any kind of motivation, or just desperate to obviously win this trophy.
I don't think we need added motivation, to be honest. We've been on a journey now for a few years as a tight-knit group, and they know where they are now, and they want to be in this position. Sure, you try and motivate them in different ways, but all the boys will be up for it, no matter who takes to the court.
First of all, congrats for this back-to-back final. I have a question for you, Lleyton. Italy and Serbia have two, would say, non-conventional double because they got a great single player in it. I would like to ask you to share some thought about these two double, and also what is the most trickiest thing to play for a conventional double, against a real locked-in great single player.
It's a tough one. Obviously, we know Novak and Yannick are quality players. It doesn't matter if they play singles or doubles. So we saw that with Yannick yesterday, helping Italy go through. So it doesn't surprise me though. If the best guys, the best singles players played in the world, played doubles week in and week out, and all the majors, they would win plenty. So it's more about who they match up with, I guess. That's a telling factor. Both teams have options, I think, with who they play together. And then I've got full confidence in my boys. They know what they're doing on a doubles court, and I'd have a lot of belief putting them out against anybody.
Two last questions.
To both of you, there were a lot of Finnish fans in the crowd today. You've spoken a lot in the past about the format and the home and away format going very old school. Did it today feel like a proper home and away tie, given it felt like there were Finnish fans all around the court and the stadium?
Yes, certainly. I don't know as a player, but certainly did at the start. I actually thought the loudest was probably at the start of Alexi's match, the first match. It did feel like an away tie out there. I kindly smile, and I like that. I like going in and disappointing everyone in the crowd. So I was quite happy with it, and as I've always said, I'd much rather have a passionate crowd out there, enjoying the tennis, and I think that's what Davis Cup's all about.
One last question.
We obviously don't know who you're going to be playing on Sunday, so if you could look at the options or the possibilities against Serbia and then separately against Italy as preview for home.
What's that? Just
as preview audio for home.
It's tough either way. Obviously, #1s are both absolute quality players. They're as good as anyone going around at the moment. So, it's going to be a tough task, and both teams have options in the #2 players. They've got a lot of depth, both teams, and as I said in the doubles as well, if it comes down to it, then they've got choices to make in that as well. So we'll sit back and watch tomorrow and make a plan, sort of depending on who we are up against.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe
and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.